So this morning we woke up after a really late night, kind of, weeknight, but 8:30 appointment to go get our test done for pre-departure. We're picking up the results now, but we did get the email already. Are we going to Korea?
We are. Let's go.
We are negative, even though I feel a little bit like, I think it's a placebo, but don't worry about it, we're going. What's up everyone? Where are we sitting right now?
We're sitting in the lounge at Jewel.
Which is the section that you can actually enter without having to book a flight or anything. It's outside of security. It's well known for a humongous waterfall. I believe it's the world's largest indoor waterfall. The lounge is closing in like less than an hour and they don't have any food left. But we're getting ready for our flight to
Seoul, Korea.
Yes, so first time we're going to Korea. It's a 1:20 a.m. flight.
And we're here a lot earlier than our flight, as you can tell. We're here at 8 p.m. and our flight, like Harry said, is at 1 a.m. So the reason why we did that is we like the Jewel. It's fun. It's so many things to do and see. But also we wanted to make sure we were prepared with all our documents because this trip definitely took a lot more preparation in comparison to any other trips that we've taken.
And I think that's why I wanted to just sit down real quick and talk to you guys a little bit more about what things you need and to prepare if you do plan to go to Korea. This is specifically for July 2022. But I do know that a lot of things just change every so often. So keep in mind that what we're telling you right now might not necessarily apply to you if you're flying on a later month or another date. The first thing to consider is we applied for what's called the K-ETA. This might be dependent on the country you're from. For the US, it is, or US passport holders rather, you can apply for it. It's not necessarily a visa, but it's something similar where you have to apply for it at least 3 days in advance of your flight. There is a fee. I don't remember exactly how much the fee is.
And you just want to make sure that you're using the official link and not some third-party site or a scam website.
We actually heard back and got approval, I think the very next day, was it?
The only difficult thing I think was uploading the photo. We needed an official ID photo and we were worried that we needed to go to an actual place to get an official photo, pay for that. But Harry is a little more tech savvy and he was able to take a photo on his phone and we were able to upload it.
I think it helps that our home has a white background, so we literally just followed the guidelines and then I just adjust the sizing. I literally took my iPhone and just took a picture against the background.
The next thing that we did was to fill in our Q code form.
And Q code is another application process, I guess, that requires you to submit other documents and essentially it generates a QR code so that when you do arrive in Korea, they can easily just scan that little QR code with all your information and just say, okay, you're okay to enter.
So we started the Q code maybe a week or two before. It saves your information because you can't actually submit it until you've taken an ART test or PCR test.
And the ART or PCR test you do have to take. It's 24 hours before departure for an ART, and PCR I believe is like 48 hours. We went with the ART test just because it is a lot cheaper here in Singapore and it is very quick in terms of getting your results, and PCRs typically they stick the thing way up. I'm not gonna pay more for someone to just jam something way down my nose, so we went with the ART and it was very easy.
And it was about $27 and they email you the results and print it out for us.
Yeah, that's the other thing is we recommend printing out hard copies of everything. Technically the Q code should include all of that data.
We printed the K-ETA form. I think it's like 1 page long.
And then we also printed our vaccination status, like the official notarized version with the QR code that you can scan. It's on our phone as well, and again, they technically should have it in the Q code that you submitted.
But that was like 3 pages long.
So yeah, the one in Singapore is very
check
long,
it.
so we'll see. We just printed it just in case. For the Q code, once you complete it, you essentially just get an email confirmation with a QR code. I'd recommend saving it just in case you get to Korea and all of a sudden your phone won't load it, and maybe having a screenshot of it on your phone would be safer. So we had one last thing that we printed.
As of right now, July, we needed to schedule a PCR on arrival test. So we went ahead and decided to take the PCR right after we land and go through immigration, just because we figured it would be the easiest, most convenient. So I think it was about 80,000 won.
Yeah, so like about 80-ish Singapore dollars, which is cheaper than a PCR test here. I think they're in the 120 plus. The convenience of having it at the airport just makes it easier for us to land, get it over with, go to the hotel, wait for the results, and then be done with it. They also guarantee the results for, like, for example, we're taking in the morning. You should get it no later than by 1 o'clock. So you still have the whole day to just hang out, go about your day, as long as you test negative, so knock on wood. When you book it, you don't pay. You pay there, so keep that in mind. And you book like a time slot. So my colleague recommended doing an hour after we land, so it gives us plenty of time. We are not checking any bags in, so it should be okay.
As long as immigration goes smoothly.
And we will let you know when we are en route and landing in Korea to finalize how the journey went.
Let's go.
You're flying from Singapore, get to the airport hours early. There's so much to do. You're not going to be bored. You're going to love it. We are officially in Korea. We just passed immigration. It was pretty easy. Now we're just trying to find where we do our PCR test. If you're getting a COVID test at the airport, you gotta cross the street. So you gotta actually exit outside, and the testing centers are over there. Not much signage, but if you ask information, they'll let you know. Okay, we just did our PCR swabs. Pretty shallow, not too bad, one nostril. She did mine deep, but
Mine was okay.
yeah,
Super fast.
I think they, based on how they like you. And now we're heading down to catch the train, or figure out how to catch the train. Tickets in hand. All right. The tickets were total 19,000, so 9,500 each. And I think the train is up that way. Just kidding. It is over this way.
We're in the hotel. It's after lunchtime now. We landed at 9 a.m.
Yes, yeah, 9 a.m.
And then we had to do all of the messy immigration, paperwork, Q code, PCR test. But we made it to our appointment for the PCR test at 10 o'clock.
Perfectly timed. I was worried actually because the flight was delayed. We didn't leave the gate. I don't know how long it was. I was just chilling there, trying to sleep. It was loud. The lights were on. And the other thing is, this is like one of the first times Chantal and I have not sat together. We both had aisle seats, which is great, all the
Yeah.
way in the back. It was kind of a bummer because it was a turbulent flight too.
It was, and Harry, we only have one neck pillow, so our plan was, okay, we don't want to pack too much, but we can share our neck pillow and kind of lean on each other. And
I offered it to her, she didn't want it, but now she regrets not using it. So I think
next flight,
yeah.
if we're not sitting next to
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, I would give it to her. But the reason why we weren't sitting together is because Scoot's airline app is pretty crappy. It like constantly asks you to log in and like it kicks you out. I was able to check in online, so that's why I got a seat assigned. But when it came to Chantal's turn, it wouldn't go through. It kept saying error. So I guess at that point they already filled the seats next to me, and that's why we were sitting apart from each other.
For 6 hours. It was hard because the lights were on for like a long time once we were in the air.
Yeah, we didn't have eye masks or anything.
Yeah.
But we were awake after 2 hours-ish maybe of sleep. I don't know how much you had.
So on the airplane, they give you, I think it was like 4 documents.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So we're looking at these documents and we're like, I think we have done everything
Literally
online.
the same stuff for the Q
Health
code.
declaration, one for the family. So that one you.
Yeah, there was like a customs declaration. That one's
Customs, yeah.
fine. You normally have to do that.
So we did ours maybe 30 minutes before landing, and it's a lot of information to fill out.
I think the toughest part is our street address is so long, and every single document asks for it. So we basically memorized it.
Yeah.
So once we landed, it was pretty straightforward. A lot of signs. Everyone's going the same direction.
First thing was the Q code.
Yes, the Q code was first. How was that?
Definitely get the Q code. Sign up for it ahead of time. There were so many people who were blocking the way and
Yeah.
filling out the forms or doing something on their phones, I guess. And we just used our screenshot.
Yes, on the email. So you didn't need to print a QR code. And again, they didn't really even take any of the documents we filled out. So it was kind of pointless, but just do it in case. I don't know. And then we went to immigration. That takes a little bit longer. Give them your passport, your documents. They kind of look at everything and they give it all back. Put a little sticker in your passport. Wish it was
your
a stamp.
fingerprints. I
Oh
know.
yeah, your fingerprints.
So once we officially exited baggage claim, we need to find our COVID testing site. We had our appointment for 10 a.m.
Which was perfect timing
Yes, it
somehow.
was, yeah.
You actually go outside across the street and it's there. So we were kind of confused because we like walked down. We're like, we don't even see signs.
We're like, we chose the west side, so it was all the way to the right.
Yeah, so we were like walking all the way. And we're like, doesn't look like there is anything there. Turns out they're both literally, so west or east, they're literally just across the street. And you can throw a rock between them. It's like not far apart at all.
And they have arrivals COVID.
Oh, yes.
Or PCR test and a departure PCR
Yeah,
test. So
so-
that was the only thing that we needed to kind of figure out. Going to the little cubby hole,
Yeah, it was
little
interesting.
office.
She had her little glove hands
that was the
on
first
from
time
the other
where
side of the
someone did
wall and
that.
like dispenses it. I was so confused what was happening.
No, it was like a little plastic box.
Yeah, I thought I was
Do
supposed to
it
put my
myself?
passport. I was like opening it and she like started opening it for me and I was like, oh. It was deeper than I expected because you said it was pretty shallow.
It was like
But
super
I'm glad
fast.
it wasn't like the one when we had COVID in Singapore and like
That
they
was, like,
jammed it
both.
up into our brains. From there we took the express train. What is it called? The Airport Express?
AREX.
AREX. The
Yeah.
Airport Express to Seoul Station.
And for that, we had to go down to B1. So B1, and it's kind of a walk.
Yeah, it's
away.
kind of far.
It was very quiet on that side.
It was strangely quiet, so we were like, oh man, is it open? Is it closed? You go up to the kiosk, you book your ticket, it gives you an assigned seat. I don't know if we just lucked out on the timing, but we
10
were...
minutes before the.
Yeah, we were there at like 10:27 and the next one was like 10:40 or something like that. There's free Wi-Fi on it too, which was nice. Very smooth ride. I have no complaints about it. So then we get to Seoul Station. Now what?
It's a mess in there.
Yeah.
Well, we had to get a T-Money card. So in my research in preparing for Seoul, everyone says, make sure you get a T-Money card ahead of time or have it delivered through some of the websites
Oh, I
online.
didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, like Klook. But we're like, nah, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
So we went a long way, and what kind of...
Well, you had to first go like 4 floors
Yeah,
up, so
that's true. Oh, yeah,
The train is like in B7, which is crazy, and then you go up to B3, and that's where you connect to all the other trains, I guess, local trains.
Yeah, we got lost trying to figure out which exit to take, and
Oh, yeah.
we asked the lady for help. She told us we needed to go all the way back to go outside.
Yeah, so then we had to go out and actually go up to the ground level, and that's when we first saw broad daylight, and she just said go to any convenience store up there. There was one literally right when you exit, and we got our T-Money cards.
So we paid $3,000 for the card, and then we put on 10,000 won just to start.
I don't think the 3,000 is part of it. Sometimes places will include that in the deposit. I'm guessing you might be able to return the card and you get your deposit back, but we'll keep the cards. We didn't get to choose them. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Maybe we could have asked.
It's kind of cute. I don't know.
It's very.
I like that it's plain and black because it looks like all my other cards, but it's like a paved road basically with a yellow. So with the T-Money card, we finally were like, okay, now we can get on public transport. And this is where things got real confusing.
So we wanted to take the bus. We were using the Naver app, and it seemed like it would only be 1,200 won. And we're like, oh, that's pretty cheap for
20 minute ride.
Bus ride. So we were like, let's do it. Easy. Let's try it out.
And we found the bus. It walked us exactly where, and it said it will be there in a few minutes, and there it was. So we got on the bus. The guy started yelling some Korean things to passengers entering, and I wasn't...
They were kind of like thinking about if they should go in. We're like,
we should have questioned that at that point.
Yes.
We had no idea what was going on. We just took
There's
it.
people on the bus.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's do it.
And then we get to a point where if you look on the map, it kind of does this weird loop-de-loop thing around Seoul Station. But right at the loop, he basically says everyone has to get off. And we were like, what the heck is going on? And you can see there's mass chaos outside. Like everyone's just waiting for different buses, confused what is happening. We even witnessed a crash when we were there. A bus hit a motorcycle and sandwiched it in between a car, and cops showed up. It's just like a K-drama, right? We entered Seoul and we got a K-drama right away. There were a few bus options at that point that we could get on. Does that mean we have to pay another 1,200 or what's going on? Because the point we got dropped off at was literally across the street from where we took the bus.
Yeah, there's two other ladies. I was keeping an eye on them. I was like, okay, they know where they're going. Clearly, they also don't want to stop here because they didn't want to get off.
Yeah. We were waiting for different buses. They wouldn't stop. We didn't know what was going on.
They weren't letting people on.
Yeah. So then we were finally like, okay, you know what? It's a 21-minute walk from here. We wasted 21 minutes waiting for a bus. Let's just haul our suitcases up. Yeah, finally got to the hotel, and that's when we learned there was a massive protest thing going on in one of the major streets. And I have a feeling that's the reason why the buses aren't able to take you all the way. That's part of the fun, I guess, of traveling.
Yeah.
Even if you're sleep deprived and you feel like you need to just clean yourself off, which feels good to be clean. But I guess for the rest of today, we're just going to wander around the streets nearby, grab some food, and enjoy our day, the rest of our day.
Yeah, you realize we haven't eaten since Singapore, 10 p.m.?
We had some Hello Panda snacks just now, but I guess that doesn't count. But yeah, it has been a very long time since we've eaten. It's a really long fast. But we're going to end this one for now, and be sure to keep an eye out for all of the other Korea vlogs we're going to push out. See you guys later.
Let's go.